Hi there, Robin here from Expert. Today we're going to be talking about this right here, which is a JBL. Yes, I said JBL IRX112BT. So yes, the BT does stand for Bluetooth, and unlike the Eon 615 and 612 models that also said Bluetooth in their name, this is actually for streaming music, where on the Eon version of the 612 and 615, that was specifically for their app. Now, there's lots more advantages to this than just the Bluetooth, and we're going to cover all of that. We're going to look at the features in the back, and we're going to talk about some of the big things about this speaker, especially what they're claiming. So when we're actually looking at who this speaker is going up against, it's probably going to be speakers like the Electro Voice ZLX, Alto TS3 series, also the Mackie boosted series, that's part of the Thump line, and some other models. But that kind of gives you an idea. So price-wise though, this is probably the most competitive out of them all for the amount of features, because remember the Alto TS3 is a 315 or a 312 with no Bluetooth on it. You have to buy that as a separate add-on. But when you look at the Mackie, if you look at the Thump, you're not going to get Bluetooth, but if you look at the boosted model, you're going to get Bluetooth with an app. And if you look at the Electro Voice, now their current standing model is the ZLX12 and ZLX15BT. That's their Bluetooth model. We'll talk about the differences between them, but mostly feature on what we're talking about here on the JBL. Again, in the States, this is at the bottom of that price point list. But if you're in Canada, it's at the top of the price point list. There's a big gap between what they sell it for in the US and what they sell it for in Canada. In the States, it's probably a no-brainer. If you're looking for a speaker and it's your first time shopping, and you think, I want to have something easy, I don't want to have to be an engineer, it's like going out and buying a car. I don't think I should become a mechanic just to buy a car. That's what happens with a lot of the brands if you want to make sure you get to use it for a long time and you don't have problems having to get it serviced because maybe you overgained it, that sort of thing. Those things kind of go away with this product here. Also, this product's big sell feature, they don't have a 15, only the 12-inch. So you have a 12-inch that replaces 12 and 15, then they have an 8-inch that replaces the 8 and 12 for their competitors' brands. That's really what they're doing because, of course, it does go against, you know, the Eon 612 and 615. This is automatically more powerful than that. I will say that hands down. We currently don't have a 615 because, well, I've decided that we're just going to wait for the replacement model in the fall, hopefully, or winter, depending on when that comes. But compared to some of the other ones we did put it up against, this box does do its job. So somehow it changes the rules of how a speaker works, and that's kind of like what JBL does, I guess, is they look at problems, they try and figure them out, they engineer it into the system and come out with a better product. And then we'll see a lot of other companies look and see if those are features that really are important and either make corrections to what they have or come up with new things. It's all about being competitive. It's like car companies. One guy does something, they all do it eventually. So anyways, that being said, 12-inch, replace 12 and 15. Wattage, big topic, and I'll be honest, this is where it's going to go. 1,300 watts, dB-wise, competitive, again, going out and buying a 15-inch ZLX or going out and buying a Mackie Thump boosted model. It's in that same kind of power rating. They don't tell you if that's peak or if that's RMS or anything like that, because to be honest, you're not buying an amplifier. You're buying a speaker. Now, when you buy a speaker with an amp on it, it's been engineered that way. 3 things have been put into play for you by somebody who really knows what they're doing, and that's a speaker package, a box, and an amp plate in the back. When that's all done really well, you come out with a really good speaker at the other end. And the efficiency on the front end determines how loud it's going to be against what they put on the back end. You have to weigh a balance between the two because you're going to go for performance and volume. Once you get that exactly right, you end up with a product that sounds like this. Now, other companies do the same thing. They come up with their own recipes. They come up with their own DSP settings. They come up with their own amps. They come up with their own speaker driver packages and even how it's designed into the box. But right now, the 112BT, the IRX112BT to be exact, is doing a pretty good job at bringing you a 12-inch with realistic powers. Now, I mean, it's good for a band specifically. If you're a new band or if you're a new independent singer, if you're just somebody who plays an instrument and needs something to play against, this is going to be really good. Again, if you don't want to learn how the speaker works, you just want to plug into it and you just want it to sound good, this is it. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And it all comes down to what's going on in the back. So again, if you don't want to become a sound engineer, you just want a good sounding speaker, this is what we're going to talk about next. So let's take a look at the back. So on the back side of the speaker, we've got some stuff. Now, in the States, the JBL rep did cover this, and I'm going to cover this a little bit more detail, just some simplicity, and we'll talk about some of the features in specific. Built-in EQ, that's what this right across top. If I press this first button, it's going to cycle through all of those functions. Again, making it straightforward and easy. You've got a music mode, you've got a vocal, you've got a speech, and you've got a flat setting to it. Choose the one that sounds and fits what you're doing best, and you'll be all set with that. Yes, there are different contours to it. We can talk about that specifically, but truly when you listen to it, it's very noticeable. If you're giving a speech and you put in speech mode, your actual vocals, the speech itself will be pushed up, not flattened out, not replaced by any background, low end or high end. It'll just be punched up a little bit in the speech mode, really making your voice the dominant sound. Music, again, just kind of brings everything up a little bit, contours it up at the bottom end, bass and the highs a little bit. Vocals is just kind of a blend between the two. It gives you a little bit, but it softens it up a little bit more. And flat doesn't do anything. That's the, you know, the name says flat, so we're not going to modify it at all. So outside of that, they give you 3 more buttons. For those who like to boost their bass, so if you're just, you know, doing a party and you just want to add more because you've come straight into here, no mixer required, via Bluetooth, you might want to jack up the bass a bit, and that's what this button will do for you. So the next function right here is AFS, the Automatic Feedback Suppression. It's a very easy button. You just turn it on and off. In the instruction manuals, they do go into a little bit more details. I'm going to explain that in a second. But basically, if you're going to be 3 to 5 feet away from the speaker and you don't want feedback, let's say you're using this for karaoke, using it for speeches, you're singing and this is going to be too close to you and you're really consumed about not having any feedback because, well, I can't figure out a good place to put the speaker, just turn that on and your job is done. The next one is music docking. So this is going to be the technical word for music docking. Music docking basically means it is going to automatically quiet out the music so you can talk over the music. So if you're going to have background music playing or music in the room and you want to do an announcement or anything where you want to address the people, you don't want the music playing while you're doing that, you're going to press this button. It's automatically going to dial the music down for you and then fade the music back in when you're done. The last button here, that's our Bluetooth button. Now it's Bluetooth version 5.0. We're going to get into a little bit more details about all of that, but basically, let me just say for now, it's really good. It's really smart. We can hook up 2 speakers, not just one, with only 1 button. So on top, pretty straightforward, our power button. Then we've got our channel. This is the only drawback, is that there's no more button that allows you to change it from mic to line. It's gained here, first portion up to the flat point. That's for anything but a microphone. When you have a microphone plugged into it, you start at the top and you work your way down. That's how a mic works. Same thing on channel 2, and then your master volume. Your master volume is going to control how much sound comes out of the speaker, and that's where your Bluetooth and your channel 1 and channel 2 are going to end up having an impact. So again, you turn up and down the volume for the Bluetooth on your phone or tablet or TV, wherever you have that connected to, and then you're going to adjust the channels themselves from here for your microphones, and then you adjust the overall volume right here, and that's going to be what comes out of the speakers in the front. And this is a through pass, so that means everything that's going on here can come out of here and plug into more speakers or maybe a subwoofer or anything else you may want to plug it into. So let's get back to talking about the box and some of the overall features. Let's talk about in a little bit more detail the auto feedback suppression system, because that is really, really exciting. It's a DBX product that they put in here, and it has one very important feature that is in the manual, which I read, and that has a reset function to it. So when do you want to reset it? Because they don't actually tell you that in the manual. So I did call JBL, I did talk it through with them, found out why you want to reset it, because it's kind of an important thing to know. Now, every time you turn the auto feedback suppression on, it's going to assume what it learned last time is what you want to do this time. If the speaker changes rooms, or you change events, or the person using the speaker changes, you're going to want to reset that. So they do cover it in the manual. It's very straightforward. You just need to hold the power button after you actually turn the auto feedback suppression on, and that'll recycle it after 3 seconds. So turn this guy on here, turn the auto feedback suppression, hold the power button down. Those 2 lights will blink, which are the vocal and the speech. It'll go back to where it was, and now you'll be all set. So once you've reset it, now the next person who actually uses it in the new room, new environment, new hall, wherever you are, it's now going to make its calculations based on that, because every person in every different event is going to have a different impact to the actual feedback that's going to come off the speaker. That's how you fix that. Very important. I wish it was in the manual, because explaining it to the why would make people do it more often. So I think it's a really great feature. So let's take a minute here and talk about the Bluetooth version 5.0, which is pretty awesome. But what does that really mean? It means that the actual codecs is less, so there's less compression. Codecs basically a fancy word for coding and decoding. We got to code it here at this end, decode it at that end. So there's less, and it's done faster. So that's a good thing when it comes to 5.0. Also, the range, because it's considered just a media speaker. It's just for sound. It's not like car audio stuff and anything with speakerphones. This is specifically set up for music play, for audio only. That means it's going to have greater range. We're going to have up to 100 feet, which is another really good thing. And the big thing is number 3. A lot of people don't catch it in the back, but with version 5.0, it can have a feature called TWS, in which this speaker does have. And that allows you to connect 2 of these speakers in stereo to just one phone or tablet. Pretty awesome. That also applies to things like TVs, laptops, and projectors if they also have Bluetooth for music. So, real important. How do you do it? Well, all you do, instead of just pressing the Bluetooth on the back of the speaker and then pressing the Bluetooth on your phone to connect, you first take the time to press the Bluetooth on each speaker, speaker 1, speaker 2, wait about 30 seconds, they'll probably ping and do a little song and dance, and then eventually they will connect. Then you scan on your phone, find one of those 2 speakers, connect to that speaker, and now you're going to be playing in stereo. Stereo, left and right speaker, proper audio. If you're using it for movie watching in the backyard, you're going to have a proper separation of sound. If you're using it for a small event and you want background music or foreground music, it depends on what you're doing, it's going to play properly. If you have a playlist on your Spotify, voila, 1 speaker or 2, your choice. Now remember, again, if you're in the States, these are a lot of features for the price that they're selling it for. I say that because right down below is our affiliate link for Amazon, which you will find the pricing down there. Now in Canada, like I said, it is a more premium product. You're going to skip over a whole bunch of other products to get to this one price-wise at the top end. It's not ridiculous, just does cost more. If you like all the features that we talked about on this speaker today, then it's really going to be justified. And that's true about in the States. This speaker could have been an extra $100, $200, $250 in the US, and it still would justify the price. But for now, at the time I make this video, it's a bargain. So have a look at that down below. What can we say about the speaker besides that? I like the handles. Let's take a look, see at how it's all built. So you've got a nice open handle on this side. No worries there. Big open handle, easy to carry. We've got a speaker that weighs, I think it's 27 pounds. Now remember, you're buying a 12-inch to replace your 12 or your 15. So they're saying it has a carry distance of a 15 in a box of a 12. Overall, it's not ridiculous. Polypropylene is the material. It's all molded, designed, engineered to keep everything compact, tight in the box, easy to operate that way. Now, the open handle's on one side. This side doesn't have an open handle. It's completely flushed out. It does have a carrying option, so you can grasp it from here, but it's more of an engineering design. I mean, it's kind of funky what they did on this side. It does allow you to place the speaker on either side because it has a textured finish on both sides, so you can use it as a monitor wedge on both sides. That's a very big and important feature. So Again, I like that a lot on this speaker. Pole mountable on the bottom. And remember, you can either put this speaker on the floor, standing up, laying down like a monitor. You can pole mount it or mount it on top of the subwoofer if that's the way you're gonna go. Handle right on top. Again, all built to be easy. So here we are, we got the name right in here. Of course, it's meant for this view, coming up this way to look at it. Handles at the top. Again, I don't mind playing around with this thing. It's pretty darn awesome when you see what you get for your money. The mesh cover, solid, no screws in the front. Very, very clean speaker. So instead of talking about it now, why don't we just play it a little bit? Now, remember, this is, YouTube, you're watching it. I mean, to be honest, it's not going to be a fair representation of what it can sound like. It does have a lot of bass in it, depending on how you set it up. It's got a lot of throw distance. And again, if I was going to use this, maybe I'd have 2 of them set up for a small church, small wedding, 50 people on a dance floor, no more than that, maybe 150 in the hall. Put them up high on a tripod would be really good. You might want to add a bass to the bottom. That would be your choice. You'd also use them, outdoor events would be great. If you're using them for any type of aerobics class where you're playing music or you're giving directions, this is incredible. Just think about how many times, if you are an instructor and you have music playing in the background, how many times you want to mute that music. Now here, every time you talk, it'll bring it down. Then you can get back into the action, and then when you want to give a new set of instructions, it'll automatically come down volume-wise and then bring itself back up. That's awesome. So the possibilities of use, pretty much endless. If you're just somebody who likes to have parties at home, or you have a garage band and you want to have something that's really good for those applications, I can't really find a bad reason to buy this right now. Not at the price they're selling it for. So there you go. Biggest kept secret since the beginning of the year, the IRX112BT. Again, links are down below. Current pricing, definitely worth the click. That is for sure. All right, so let's set up a microphone in front of it and play something.
Love and darkness, easy love, easily. Hey now, baby, got me losing my concentration.
summer snow. When it falls on you, your blood runs cold. But don't you sweat your pretty skin, 'cause it melts away for it sinks in.